welcome to Fabulous Living with Angela Jones. I'm your host, Angela Jones. I've missed you guys. It's been 2 weeks. I really miss being here. It's so cool to be back. I'm so happy to be back. Yeah, but I had to take care of a little business. Last weekend, I was on a business trip. I am helping a good friend plan her wedding on the coast of North Carolina, so I had to do a little visit there to go and check out all the vendors and the space and all of that good stuff. So I was tied up with that last weekend, and then the weekend before that, I was out of town for Mother's Day. So here we are. I'm back. I hope you guys miss me as much as I missed you. Okay, sorry. Really happy to be back. I didn't realize how much I missed it until today. So very happy to be back. I hope you all had a wonderful past 2 weeks. I hope those of you mothers out there, aunts, godmommies, all of you had a wonderful Mother's Day. I did. I spent it with really good friends and family, celebrating a nephew's graduation in upstate New York. So it was a lot of fun. And my son was with me, Darius was with me. So it was time well spent. So again, I hope all of you had a really good time with your moms and cherished those moments and created some great memories with your moms. So here we are. Last week, the last time I was with you was the week before Mother's Day, and here we are at the end of May. Can you believe that? That is insanity. Where's the time going? But here we are. It's Memorial Day weekend, and it's the unofficial start of summer. Woo! Yay! Yeah. Not excited about the summer weather. Happy about the summer clothes and sandals and all that good stuff, but not excited about this humidity. It is so warm today in DC. But hey, can't complain. We go from one extreme to the other. When it's really cold, we're not happy. And then when it's really hot, we're not happy. So God can't please anybody, it seems. But anyway, we're going today, today's show is going to be about the unofficial start of summer. And one of the things I wanted to do is I want to talk about Memorial Day menu and making Memorial Day cooking easy. So it's going to be all about making Memorial Day. We're going to call it Memorial Day Made Easy. That's what we're going to call today's show. So what I did today, excuse me, like I said, it's a little warm and I'm of that age. Sorry. But what I wanted to do today was I kind of wanted to, the weather is really bad here in D.C. We're expecting thunderstorms. We had one yesterday. It's not going to be the best weather tomorrow for the holiday. So I just kind of thought, let me kind of give you some tips on making Memorial Day simple, because you may not be able to get out there and grill. And I kind of want to show you some things that I prepared to still have that Memorial Day meal, but kind of make it a little simpler for you. So we're going to dive right in to that. And I want to start off, first and foremost, with burgers. Burgers are one of my favorite foods. I think it should be in a food group all its own because I love burgers. I mean, they're so quintessential Americana. Burgers, apple pie, there's just certain things that scream American, and burgers are one of them. And I eat a burger at least once a week because I love burgers. So what I want to do first of all is I'm going to show you. I'm just going to hold this up, Jacob. This is a burger that I made. And I'm going to first give you some tips on how to, there we are. Thank you. I'm going to give you some tips on how to prepare really yummy burgers, because there is a method to making really good burgers. And what I did here today is, I know you're probably like, what kind of bun was that? I did it on a pretzel bun. So kind of made it a little different. Jacob, what did you think?
Oh yeah, top notch.
Good? We're good? Okay, all right. There you have it. Jacob has spoken. And by the way, Jay's not here today, if you're wondering, because those of you who always hear me saying Jay's name, Jacob is another engineer here because today is Jay's birthday. Happy birthday, Jay. No, you're not watching the show. You shouldn't be on your birthday. You're not here. But just wanted to give a shout out to Jay, who's my regular engineer, and I just want to thank Jacob today for his help. So Thank you, Jacob. So Jacob has already did a test taste of the burgers. Um, so let me give you first some quick tips. And I know normally I do a PowerPoint and all of that, and I'm very organized. I already prefaced everything with Jacob today saying I'm normally very organized. I have everything all mapped out. I have my timeline, but your girl's a little, tired. It's been a long week at work. And I just thought what I'm going to do is, and I promise you this, I'm going to give you all the tips, and then I'm going to put them on either the blog, www.fabulousLiving.com, or I'm going to put it on Instagram at Fabuleux Living. So one of the two places tonight you will see all of the tips for making great burgers. So we're going to get right into it. First and foremost, you want to use 80-20 beef. And 80-20 means you want it to be 80% lean, and then it's going to be 20% fat. And we want that fat in there. I mean, and if you got a problem with this, my disclaimer every time we're doing food. Sorry, this is not the show. This is not the episode, because we're all about eating well and not making any qualms about like, oh my God, can't we do it with 90-10? No, to make a really good juicy burger, we need that fat content in there. So first of all, you want to start off with 80-20 beef, not 90-10. I know in some other things you do want really lean meat, but in this case, we want it to have a little more fat. So whenever you're there and you see the package, you want to make sure you're getting 80%, 80-20. That's the ratio that we want for the burgers. The next thing we want to do, too, is we want to make sure we keep the meat really cold. Yes, really cold. Because once, it gets warm, it kind of starts to break down that fat. And that's what it's all about. I just said it's all about the fat. So we want to make sure everything stays really cold. So normally what I do is when I'm patting the burgers out, I normally put them on a cold baking sheet. Like an ice cold baking sheet. So as I'm making the burgers, because, your hands are warm, so that's going to kind of warm the meat. So that's already going to make it warm. But as soon as I start to pat the burgers out, the patties out, I immediately place them on that cold baking sheet. So that's going to still kind of keep, maintain the cold. And if I'm making a whole lot of burgers, as I'm making things in batches, I just kind of put each batch, put them in the refrigerator to really keep them cold. If I'm making burgers for when we're tailgating, when we're doing a Virginia Tech tailgate. Wow, that's a tongue twister. A Virginia Tech tailgate for my son. I normally am making tons of fresh burgers. So definitely when I'm doing that, I constantly, make sure I'm putting them back in the refrigerator so they're staying cold, because I'm going to be making quite a few of them. But in this case, today I only made 4 burgers. 2 are here. I already gave 2 to the staff. I didn't eat them, I promise. But I am going to eat one of these probably during the break. So we'll be down 1 more. So since I was only making 4, I kind of patted them out, and then I put them on the cold baking sheet so they could stay nice and cold until we're ready for them to hit the grill or the cast iron skillet, whatever it is that you're going to be using to prepare the burgers. Let's see. The next tip is you don't want to kind of do, like I said, when you're patting, you want to move fast when you're patting the burger. You don't really kind of want to futz around with the meat too much. You don't want to do that. You kind of want to make sure that you're kind of moving really quickly, like quick motions to kind of make the patty, get it on the pan on the, cold baking sheet, and keep it moving to the next one. You don't want to do a lot of handling, like I said, because your hands are warm, your hands are really warm. In cases, that's okay for you to kind of, when you're making certain things, that your hand, the heat from your hands is helpful, but not when it comes to making burgers. You want to make sure you're not really, squishing them around too much, and we don't want to do that. No. We don't want to do that. So that's one thing that you don't want to do. Tip number 3 is, and this is something that was kind of foreign to me. I didn't realize this, until I noticed the difference that it makes. You don't want to salt your burgers as you're mixing them, because again, the salt starts to break down the meat and the muscle of the meat, and you don't want to do that. So it'll end up you'll end up if you put the salt in before you actually fry or grill the burger, whatever it is that you're doing, the burger will look tighter, and you want the meat to look loose and be juicy and moist. So you really want to make sure you're putting the salt or adding anything on it afterwards. And a little sidebar as far as that, I keep it really simple. It's just the meat, and then I sprinkle it with kosher salt, uh, fresh, ground pepper, but not ground, but I, use the peppercorns, and I kind of want to, and I have it my grinder on coarse so that it's really, you can get those flecks of the pepper in the burger. And I happen to love pepper, so that's not your thing, but just kind of freshly grinding the pepper yourself and kind of doing it on coarse gives it a nice taste and a nice flavor. And I don't do anything else. I know people like to put blue cheese and different things in it. I mean, you can do that if that's your preference, but I'm kind of a burger purist. Like that? I'm a kind of a burger purist, and I kind of like it to be simple. And I'll kind of go on another soliloquy about toppings and stuff and how you can kind of do your own thing with that too. But I really think keeping it really simple, almost like, when you go to a diner and you get a burger, I mean, it's nothing fancy, but it's nice and simple and juicy. And that's kind of what I'm kind of going for. That's when I think of a burger in my mind, that's what I think about. So you kind of want to make sure that you're not doing too much, as the kids say, the most with the burger. Kosher salt and black pepper is all I kind of do with the burger. And of course, you can add different seasonings if you want. But again, if you're going to do that, I would add it afterwards. Like I said, sprinkle it on top after you form the patties, if you're going to do it. I would suggest that you do it then for a looser, juicier burger, which is what we're going for. Who wants a tight, dry, burger? We don't want that. And the other thing, another sidebar, but related, is egg and all of that. We're not making meatloaf. No. So do not add that to your burger. I know some people are like, oh, I feel like I have to kind of put that in there to bind it. No, you don't. You really don't. You don't need all of that. If you're going for the meatloaf taste, if you're going for miniature meatloaves on a bun, then knock yourself out. But if we want a really juicy, delicious, classic hamburger, no egg, no milk. Those are all the things you add to meatloaf, and we're not making meatloaf. That's another show. Okay. I know with certain things, people say, oh, don't kind of, you don't want to move it around too much. You kind of want to flip the burger as often as you like. Sometimes people say, oh, no, you don't want to kind of mess around with it too much. Now, one thing that I will say is you don't want to kind of take your spatula and press it down on the burger, because then you're releasing all the juices. Hello, that's what it's all about. It's a juicy burger. So you don't want to take the spatula and press down on the burger. You want to make sure that, you keep all that juice inside. So we don't want to do that, because if you do that, you're releasing all the juices. But feel free to flip it as much as you like. That's for sure. Now, one of the things, let me go back to when you're forming the patty. This is another tip that I wanted to give. You're forming the patty, right? Have you ever had a hamburger and you make it at home and then it ends up coming it looks like a mini meatloaf. It's rounded on the top of it. It just looks like a little miniature meatloaf. All you need to do is add the ketchup sauce to the top. Let me give you a really good tip for making sure so that the patty stays flat. So you make the patty. Then you want to take your thumb and put an indentation in the middle of the patty, just on one side, and your patty will stay nice and flat. Isn't that a good tip? Yeah, I love that. Once I learned that, because I was like, my burger tastes great, but it looks like a miniature meatloaf. And then I decided to do some research, and I realized that putting the thumb in the middle and making the indentation helps it so that it will stay nice and flat. So I thought that was a really good tip that I wanted to share that I love. And then the next tip I wanted to share is use a meat thermometer. Especially if you're making burgers for the masses. Now I tend to and most people are like, what? So it kind of doesn't make me a burger purist in this regard, because I don't like to see any pink. None. Zero. Nada. Nothing. No can do. I don't like to see any pink. So I tend to make my burgers either medium well or well. And I know some people are like, "Oh my God, you're killing the burger." I've had people tell me, like, when I've gone to restaurants like Morton's, like finer restaurants, and I'm at lunch and I've ordered a burger or something, they're like, so you pretty much want to kill the cow. Like, you don't want to, I mean, like, you don't even really, and I'm like, just give me what I asked, please. I asked you really nicely for a medium well or a well done burger. And I say like this, if you really know what you're doing, a well done burger will not be dry. It will not. And even if you're making, medium, if you're making medium well or a well burger and you know what you're doing, it will not be dry. But to help you with all that, a meat thermometer. And again, I'm going to have all of this up on the, like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to put it on the blog or I'm going to put it on Instagram tonight. I'm trying to decide. I think it'll end up being the blog, but check both places to be sure. But I'm also going to put on there a temperature guide so you'll know, because when you're making burgers for the masses, I kind of tend to make them all medium well, for the most part, unless somebody's up there making a special request and they're like, "And you are killing me. I cannot eat that burger. I like my medium or something." So fine, no problem. I have my meat thermometer. I can put it in there and make sure that I make it to their liking. But like I said, when I'm tailgating and I'm making, like, if you're doing tomorrow, making like, you're cooking out for like 20 people or something, you can't really, this isn't Burger King. You can't have it your way. Sorry. You kind of have to maybe you should have a piece of chicken in that case. So anyway, a meat thermometer is your friend. It's something you definitely should have on hand anyway, as far as one of the tools you should have in your arsenal of cooking equipment. But it definitely comes in handy when you're grilling or even when you're making burgers at home, just to make sure you're hitting the mark. And because you don't want to have to kind of cut into it, or if you have a meat thermometer, you'll be able to check it and see if it's to your liking or to your guests' liking. And the next tip is choose your bun wisely. I feel like it should be the perfect ratio of meat to bread. I don't want it to be too much meat, and then it annoys me when I have like a little, I have a big bun, and then it's like a little piece of meat in there. That doesn't work for me. I like it to be even, Steven. So I think that's important. So you want to make sure you're making your patties and you allow for some shrinkage, and then that they're going to make sure you have the right bun to meat ratio going on. It's very important. And you also want to make sure that when I say you choose the right bun, you don't want anything, if the plan is, of course, to have really juicy, delicious burgers. You want to make sure that you don't have anything that's going to get too soggy, because then it's smushy and that's not good either. So we're not going for that either. Now, one good thing that you can do is you can toast the bun, because that's going to catch some of the juice and the dripping, so and kind of form like a sponge so that it doesn't soak all the way through. So that's one good thing that you can do. Or you can just choose a heartier bun. Like I did, the pretzel roll bun is perfect because it's nice and thick, and it'll, if you're making a nice, fresh, juicy bun and juicy burger, and you're taking it right off the grill and you're putting it right onto your bun, it's perfect for that. Sometimes I find that even though I love potato rolls and things like that, they have to be toasted. For me, that's just my personal preference, because I do feel like all the juices and stuff kind of get smushy, and then it gets all gummy, and then it's not really an appetizing burger to me. But again, to fix all of that, you can definitely toast. And if you're making the burger in home inside, you can always, I like to sometimes just kind of take another skillet and just kind of grill the bread, like, maybe put just a little hint of butter, just a little bit, not a lot, just a little, and grill it. Oh, so good. So good. And then you put and then you go to prepare the burger, and it's so yummy. So that leads me to my final tip is, put whatever toppings you want on it. I mean, the sky's the limit. Like for me today, I'm basic Betty when it comes to a lot of food. I think you guys have learned that with me. Not very adventurous when it comes to food. So I'm pretty much the burger, cheese, lettuce, tomato, pickles, which I didn't bring today. Again, just trying to bring the basics in. Um, some people like raw onions. Some people like grilled onions. Some people like mushrooms, bacon, turkey bacon. You can do turkey burger. You can put whatever you want on top of the burger. Jalapeno peppers. You can do smoked Gouda, cheddar. It's endless. I mean, avocado, sprouts. I mean, anything you want on the burger, you can put it on there. But I think that if you're really just, like I said, being like, you know, just a basic burger, I think to me, it's lettuce, tomatoes, pickles. I'm a mustard person. I don't like ketchup. That's just me. Jacob just gave me the thumbs up. Yay! Because most people tell me when I guess I don't eat ketchup at all, not even on my fries. And people are like, "You're weird. That's so weird. How do you eat a burger without ketchup? How do you eat fries without ketchup?" I eat it. Clearly, I eat it. And it's clearly I'm doing okay. I know it's gross, right? Ugh, I don't like it. I don't like it. So, sorry everyone. Um, I it's just not my thing. So I'm a mustard person, or what I'll do is I like to do A1 steak sauce on a burger too. Jacob's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that, especially when I go to like a better steakhouse, like a Morton's or a Maestro's or Del Frisco's, and I get like a really good, Angus burger that's like close to a steak, and I put steak sauce on it, and then I have all the rest of the fixings on it. Love it. So good, so good, so good. So those are my burger tips, folks. Let's move right along here. Like I said, this is about making Memorial Day easier. So, like I said, today we have bad weather. I mean, it's not pouring or anything right now, but it is raining. And they're calling for it to be kind of like cloudy tomorrow. So what I decided to do is I decided that I was going to do some chicken sliders. So there are those people that don't want the beef. I don't know who you people are, but okay, fine. If you don't eat beef. Then I have another alternative. I have today some Jack Daniel's chicken sliders with an apple coleslaw. Ooh, 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 ooh. So good. On brioche buns. So good. Oh my gosh, it's a great bite. So, let me tell you though, I said this was made easy. Typically, and I'm learning in my old age here, that every single thing doesn't always have to be from scratch. I think I shared that with you. I'm really like, I like to make everything from scratch and all that good stuff. But sometimes in the interest of time, or if you can't grill or whatever, you got to kind of go for what you know. So what I did today was I actually, and some of my friends that are watching are going to be like, what? Not you, ants are clutching their pearls. I bought this Jack Daniel's pulled chicken barbecue. You can find it in your grocer's section, like right where you see bacon and all of that. And it's great because it's already cooked and all you have to do is warm it up. So what I did was I bought these delicious brioche dinner rolls. So I decided I was going to make sliders. And sorry guys, I'm a little warm. Make sliders. And what I decided to do to kind of make it like sort of like a semi-homemade kind of deal is I decided, well, you know me, I couldn't, I had to still make something from scratch. So I decided to make the coleslaw. And what I did was, instead of doing like regular coleslaw, which I think can be a little too wet sometimes, I decided to do coleslaw, but I did it with red cabbage, julienned carrots, and julienned broccoli. And then I added mayonnaise, a little bit of sugar to give it a little sweetness. I diced a Granny Smith apple and put it in there. And then I added a little bit of kosher salt and apple cider vinegar and a little bit of white pepper. And thank you, Jacob. He just turned the fan on. Y'all don't know I'm dying. It's not because of the heat. And this is just me, my own personal summer. I don't think I've ever explained that to you all. I, have my own little personal summers. And then when I'm kind of moving around and doing a whole lot, I get a little overheated. So that's why if you're like, Angela is like melting. She's having a meltdown literally right in front of us. That's why. Sorry, just a little disclaimer. But anyway, delish. I mean, so good. And it's a nice bite. And it's a nice, between like the um, the tanginess of like the barbecue and the little bite that you're going to get in the barbecue, and then the crunch that you're going to get from the slaw, and especially with those apples in there. So yummy. I mean, really, really good. So that is a great bite right there. Delish. And again, and maybe you don't have the, Jack Daniels at your local grocer. You could also do this in, if you decide to make it yourself, grill some chicken, dice it, put barbecue sauce on it, or make your own sauce or whatever. But again, we're talking about making it easy. So either purchase it, or if you have a local barbecue place that you like in your neighborhood and you want to patronize them, and then you can just add that to the delish. I'm telling you, so good. So that's that. And again, let me say that I would round out. Of course, I don't have everything in here, but I would round out this menu with, of course, a green salad, some chips and salsa, or some spinach dip and tortilla chips. I've showed that to you guys in another show. I think it was the first show, actually, the Super Bowl show. So, and that's also on my blog too. You can definitely find it there. The recipe for my spinach dip and and preparing your own tortilla chips. But of course, you can round out the menu with all the other things to kind of fill the holes in it. I just kind of want to give you a couple of quick things that you can kind of make, and that would be easy for me to bring in. And then you can kind of, like I said, you can fill in the gaps with your own favorite things. Your hot dogs, your grilled sausages, your barbecue chicken, steaks, turkey burgers, veggie burgers, black bean burger, everything. Whatever you want to fill your menu out with. But yeah. But the next thing I wanted to show you is pasta salad. I love pasta salad in the summer. My thing in the summer is I'm not really trying to do a whole lot of cooking. I'm just not, and I want things that are quick, and easy and still flavorful. And pasta salad is one of those things that, today I prepared it without any meat in it, but you can easily add grilled chicken to it, or, turkey, or any kind of, mostly I would say a poultry in it to me. Would go best in a pasta salad. So what I did is today I have Italian pasta salad. And I just used a really good penne pasta. Awesome. Penne pasta, olive oil, balsamic vinegar, grape tomatoes, Italian seasonings, black olives. And then I did red pepper, green pepper, and then a red onion just finely diced. And it's so yummy. I mean, it's so flavorful. And the thing about it is that it's going to be better tomorrow, because once all those flavors meld, so good. Really, really good. It's like I said, I prepared this morning, so it's probably really good now. But it'll be even better tomorrow once it's kind of refrigerated for a full 24 hours. And then I just kind of put some freshly grated Parmesan cheese on top. I mean, and you have a meal. Think about it. Moms, single people, everybody. If you're just trying to, in the summertime, you want quick. And this is a quick meal. And let me tell you how I made it really quick. I bought all of the things already prepared. Normally, like I told you in another show, I would normally take the time and I would cut everything up because it's just cheaper. But when you pay for the convenience of going to the produce department and getting everything already chopped and everything, but sometimes it's worth it to just spend the extra $1 or $2 to already have it chopped. And that's what I did to make this even easier, since we're talking about Memorial Day made easy. So just bought that already prepared. You cook the pasta for 7 minutes because you want it to be al dente. We don't want it to be too mushy, because then you're adding oil and balsamic vinegar and all of that. And there's a rule, whether you're making a cold pasta or a hot pasta, you always want to make sure it's al dente. And then you add whatever flavors that you want. I put a can of sliced black olives in there. And you can make this with any flavors that you want. I have one recipe that I'll definitely be sharing this summer. Is I make a farmer's market pasta salad. So good. And it has everything you can imagine at a farmer's market. So it has grilled corn in it, and it has the tomatoes. It has zucchini and squash, You can really make it, like I said, whatever you want to make it. And then in that one, I also add like some grilled peaches to it. And it's made with it's made with a white balsamic vinaigrette. So yummy. So I'll definitely be making that over the summer and posting that onto the blog. But if you just kind of want to go basic, typical, not typical, but the basic Italian pasta salad, this is a great way to go. And I had this prepared in a matter of minutes because, like I said, I bought everything already chopped. I don't have this gray hair for nothing, y'all. So there you have it with the pasta salad. So we are going to take a quick break, and I'm going to share with you some basics with making lemonade. Yes, because we have to have something nice and refreshing. I should have had some of that up here now while I was sweating and carrying on. But anyway, we're going to come back with lemonade, and I have a really easy dessert. Even if you don't bake, you can make this. I'll be right back. welcome back to Fabulous Living with Angela Jones. So, lemonade. I just kind of feel that lemonade and summer are synonymous. I really do, because it's just nice and refreshing and it quenches your thirst. It's just, and if you have the perfect lemonade, it's just the right amount of tartness, but then the sweetness and, just enough for you to, oh, so good. It's so good. I love lemonade. Even when I was a kid, I didn't drink this is weird. I didn't drink lemonade as a kid. I didn't drink soda as a kid. I only drank water, which is kind of strange as a kid. Now as an adult, people aren't like, oh, when I was a kid, people were like, you don't drink soda? You don't drink punch? You don't drink what? So I didn't even drink lemonade. But then as I got older, I'm like, where have you been all my life, lemonade? So it just kind of, lemonade to me screams summer. And when I think about summer, just to kind of take you back down memory lane for a little bit, just indulge me, people. I think about summers for me, and I know it's not officially summer, so don't email me or, be like, Angela, it's not really summer yet. It's not technically summer until June 22nd. I know. But Memorial Day is the first warm weather holiday we have, and it is the unofficial start of summer, even though we have 3 more weeks until summer starts. So when I think of summers that I spent in Montgomery, Alabama, in Prattville, Alabama with my grandparents. And for me, and I'm going to, I have another drink that I want to bring and make, and I'll bring those in too. But when I think of summers, I think about going to my great aunt's house. And I think I've shared with you all on the first show. I know I shared with you on the first show that my great aunt was the consummate entertainer. She was like the best entertainer ever. Like, she had her social gatherings at her home and her little ladies' teas and all of that. So all my love for all of this stems from her and my grandmother. And then, of course, my mom passed it down all along down to me. But my great aunt, when we would come in the summers, she had this, and this was hers. She just died last June, as I think I've shared with you on the show before. She was 98. And when I came, to me, in my mind, you know how there's certain things or certain songs that remind you of certain periods in your life or different things? To me, when I would come, I was not like, it was weird. Like when I would get down to Alabama and I would go to her kitchen and she had these aluminum cups. Now, let me tell you about these. These tumblers are aluminum. I don't know. You can tell how worn they are. They are about 70 years old, my mom said. Isn't that amazing? And imagine, aluminum is going to hold and retain the any kind of cold, beverage or anything that you put in there. So it would get nice and frosted and cold. And just imagine, I'm running around as a little girl, pigtails flying around. And then I would come inside and I'd be like, Auntie, I'm drunk, I'm thirsty. And she'd hand me this nice cold tumbler. And I'm talking about Alabama heat. So all you wimps here like me that can't take like the heat up here in the north, no. Whole different animal down there. I mean, like hot. Like I would, come back so brown and chocolatey when I come back from summers down there because it was just so hot. But she would hand me the drink and, a nice ice cold. Sometimes it was just water because, like I said, that's what I drank. She would hand this to me in this nice aluminum tin cup, and it was just the best thing on earth. So when I think of that, I think about lemonade, and this was the picture. Yeah, this is my whole set. Like I said, she passed away, and then my mom and my cousin had to end up putting her in a home. So I got a lot of her household items and entertaining pieces that I so cherish. They're very near and dear to me. So this is one of the things, and we would put the lemonade in there, or the water, she always made sweet tea and put it in there. I'm not a cold tea drinker. I'm a hot tea drinker, but anyway, that would be one of the things that she would do. So I have on the website a fabulous, oh my gosh, if you like lemonade and you like strawberries, I have the perfect strawberry lemonade recipe on the blog. Thank you, Jacob. And it is amazing. No, seriously, it is so good because it's the perfect combination. If you love see, I love strawberries and I love lemonade, so it's perfect. So all you do is you're gonna kind of cook down the strawberries and kind of form like a syrup in a sense. Then you're gonna put the fresh strawberries in a blender and almost make it looks almost like a Slurpee, and then you add that, to the lemonade mixture. Oh, so good. So, to go with all your barbecue and everything, think about, having a delicious strawberry lemonade. Do a little twist on just having regular lemonade. Of course, you can use my recipe and not add the strawberries if you're allergic to strawberries, or if you simply don't like strawberries or don't want strawberries. You can do that and still just follow the rest of the recipe. But so good to have lemonade. And I think I also shared with you, watch my time here, okay, that the way to go when making your any kind of beverage that requires sugar is to make a simple syrup. And as I think I shared with you maybe about a month or so back, simple syrup is just equal parts sugar and water, and you're going to boil it. You're not going to boil it, but you're going to heat it. Don't necessarily need to bring it to a boil, just until the sugar has dissolved. And you can keep this in your refrigerator. This WEC bottle is my friend in the summer because I just keep it filled with simple syrup. And whenever I want to make a drink, even if I just want to make just a glass of something for myself, and I don't necessarily want to make a whole pitcher, I can just add it to my cup, add my water, add my lemon juice, and I have a glass of lemonade on the spot. You can use simple syrup as a base. A lot of bartenders use it for drinks. If it's a sweet drink, this is what they're using is simple syrup. So it's a really good thing to keep on hand if you're an iced tea lover, a lemonade lover, if you want it for your cocktails or mocktails, definitely something you need to have in your arsenal for sure. And it'll keep in your refrigerator for about 2 weeks or so. So simple syrup is the way to go. So the grand finale, dessert, my favorite food group next to meat and pasta, and anyway, dessert. I like a lot of things. What I decided to do, again, I'm kind of feeling very nostalgic, So my mom used to make cream cheese pie. One of my favorite desserts in the world is cheesecake. But again, it's warm out. Who wants to turn on the oven? And cheesecakes are very involved. And again, we're talking about Memorial Day made easy. So you can't get any easier than this. I know if you can't even bake, you can do this. Watch. This is a strawberry cream cheese pie. And all it is a store-prepared crust. And normally I would make my own crust and everything, but I'm being true to what my mom used to make. And it is, that looks so yummy. It is 2 blocks of cream cheese, sugar, vanilla, pure vanilla extract, and lemon juice. That's it. You whip it in your mixer until it's nice and smooth. You simply pour it into the pan, into the crust. You put it in the refrigerator. That's it, people. So if you want the taste of cheesecake, but you don't want to go through, cheesecake is laborious. It's more, like I said, it's one of my favorite things. And if you want to go through all that, it's on the blog, fabulousLiving.com. I have a delicious strawberry cheesecake. But in the interest of doing something simple and not turning on the oven when it's hot and all of that, great summer dish. Then I just topped it with fresh strawberries that I took some preserves and I just put the preserves on top of the stove. Strawberry preserve. I use Smucker's. I actually use Smucker's low sugar preserves because the cheesecake is sweet and you don't need a whole lot with this. You want to keep it nice and light and fresh. So I use low sugar. Hey, if you want to go into a diabetic coma, feel free to use, preserves with sugar in it. Or if you don't want to use either one, like I said, in the interest of time, I wanted to be quick. I normally would make my own glaze, but you can't say that I haven't offered anything to you people who don't really like to cook or bake, because you can use the preserves, keep it simple, put it over top of the strawberries, and then slide it right back in the oven. I'm sorry, in the fridge. And then you just want to let it chill for, maybe 2 hours or so. But I'm going to cut into a slice so you can see what it looks like. And again, my friends are going to like freak out because they're going to be like, Angela's using paper plates. But it's Memorial Day weekend. I wouldn't be using China for Memorial Day. Duh. So, yeah, we're doing paper plates. So, I'm going to scoop this out so you can see. Yeah, right, Jacob? So good. Look at that. And then it's it is perfect because it's nice and creamy and light. And then you know what? There's another good tip for this too is if you want to tilt it down. Okay, sorry. Jacob's like, tilt it down, Angela. There you are. You can freeze this and you can make it a frozen dessert. And it's really good that way too. So you could, especially on a day when it's nice and hot and you want something nice and refreshing, putting this in the freezer is amazing. And then, you know me, top this with some fresh people, not in a tub, not in a can, whipped cream. Again, 2 ingredients, confectioner's sugar, whipping cream. We covered that about a month or so. And then you have dessert, just like that. So all of these things, like I made all of these things this morning before church, and I did everything in like 2 hours, maybe even a little less than that. The only thing that I had to do when I got home from church was just grill the burgers. And a little sidebar, I didn't go outside and grill because I didn't know what the weather was going to do, so I grilled them inside. If you don't have one, please invest in a nice cast iron grill. OMG. It tastes like, except for not having that char grill, the char grill taste, you get the lines and it gives you that grill taste. Still just without the charcoaly, like taste, of course, but it's a good substitute on a day like today and tomorrow, more than likely that you'll be able to grill. So there you have it, everyone. Memorial Day made easy. I hope all of you have a wonderful time with your family and your friends celebrating Memorial Day. And let's remember those who sacrificed for us on Memorial Day, who lost their lives or didn't come back whole from wars and things like that. So let's make sure we're keeping them in mind for Memorial Day as well. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week. Blessings.